3 kilometers away. Okay, baby. Let's go. What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video. Now, maybe some of you guys remember about a month and a half ago, I actually broke the world record for no moving, panning, or zooming streaks on AI-generated worlds. And as you can see right here, since then, STIQUE actually smashed my record, getting 64 countries in a row compared to my 40. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, attempting to break my own record on here and STIQUE's as well. Definitely going to be a tough task, but I actually do believe I'm capable of this. We just need the right seeds in a row. This map is really hard. It's actually made to be as hard as possible. Like, most of the rounds don't have any clues and also don't have any car meta. So I thought it'd be a good video to do as well, because GeoWizard shouted me out in his video today, and I know a lot of his fans prefer rounds without car meta. So if you're coming over from that, hello. And so we get into the first round of the day here, where we have like some very warm looking trees here. Like, doesn't feel like it's a cold climate. And then we also have this like kind of lightish road with a lot of black specks all over it. I would definitely associate this kind of road with Bulgaria. I definitely think that's what this is most likely to be. I could also see it possibly being Romania or Hungary, but yeah, I think northern Bulgaria works quite nicely here. It was northern Bulgaria. That is the first country we've gotten so far. Let's see what happens on the next round here. Good start. Okay, next one here. Okay, this is immediately getting more difficult, of course. First thought was like Brazil. I could also see Ecuador, although a dirt road would be kind of strange for Ecuador. But then I could also see maybe Philippines or something like that being possible here. I'm just trying to make out from the palms. You definitely do see these kinds of palms in Brazil, but I'm not really sure like where else you might see them. I even thought of Amapá, just because we have a bit of a haze on the camera, which is quite common there. I mean, I said I wouldn't be using car meta, but there are some car metas that you just can't unsee once you know them. I do also consider that Cambodia would be quite possible here. It doesn't really seem like the sun is too usable here, so I guess we'll just go for Brazil and see. It was actually up there in Pará, so that makes sense. And we move forward to the next round. Okay, this should be just in Russia. Could also see actually Baltic, but seems less likely. And Ukraine, also possible, of course. But I think I would just send Russia here. If it's Ukraine, it's Ukraine. And it was just the other side of Moscow. Very nice. 3 in a row now. Okay, next one here is US or Canada. Definitely feeling US more so here. This letterbox probably seems more American to me. But could always be just over the border in Canada. I'll try Ohio here. It was actually in Illinois. That is fine for us. So already 4 is a decent streak on this map. Trust me, guys. Like, it really is a difficult one. And getting 40 was no mean feat. It took me a lot of grinding. But anyway, next one here should be Canada. Double yellow lines and this kind of pole. And just the landscape really is reminding me of Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. I think I would go Nova Scotia just because of the double yellow lines, but we'll see here. And it was indeed on Cape Breton there, which is good. Okay, first one there was 19,000. Good streak of 5. Let's see if we can keep moving up here. All we need to do is that, like, what, like a good 12 times more, and we'll be up to STIQUE. Okay, next one here should be something in Chile for me. It could also be Colombia, but I'm just thinking like white car, dirt road like this. Yeah. Should be somewhere in Chile, almost certainly. Yeah, I'm not really sure where. It's probably actually south of Puerto Montt, I want to say. But let's just go in this kind of area here. And it was indeed in that kind of area there, so that's a nice start. Okay, next one here, taking a while to load in. Although now that we load in, the run gets a lot easier than it would have been, because we do have the top of a pole here. That should be one of those wide ones you see, which has holes in it, which you would see in Romania. So it could have easily been Bulgaria here, but that's going to get us over the line. Whereabouts, I'm not so concerned about. It is a bit hilly, so I think somewhere in the north or like somewhere up here could work quite nicely with the dryness as well. I don't think this is Hungary. It would be very hilly, and the road would be very strange for Hungary. So I think we're good. And we are. That is 7 in a row. So yeah, already almost a quarter of the way to my personal best. This one is difficult. We have like a bunch of rubber trees. That would be most common in like Indonesia and Thailand. I think Thailand here is a good shout. I'm just trying to think if like Malaysia or Indonesia are actually like at all reasonable guesses here. I think I would go Thailand. I get the feeling that like a similar round in Indonesia might have some more hills to it, although it would probably just be on Sumatra, which is relatively flat in some regions. So I would say this is like Riau or Jambi, or just like somewhere in Thailand, maybe Peninsula, maybe Northern. I think Thailand's just the better shout. The road is concrete. I mean, it's just bitumen, which is a bit concerning because obviously a lot of like single lane roads in Thailand are concrete. So definitely could see Indonesia here, but I'm going to go for Thailand. And it was just Indonesia. Okay, that is a bit of a tough 50-50, I think. Maybe the road, yeah, could have gotten us over the line there, but it was always going to be a difficult one. So let's head through and go for another one here. This is Germany, like typical old coverage, something in a city. Don't see anything that I would like say is particularly typical of anywhere in particular, so I will just go in Ruhr area here and we'll see if it's right or not. Was Frankfurt there? Interesting. Wouldn't have picked it from that scene. Next one here should be Dubai or Qatar. These buildings look Qatar to me, like they look like the ones that you get kind of in the north of the city, so I'll just try that. We're only on a 2 streak, so it's fine if we're wrong. And it was in the north there, so very nice. That's a 20,000. We lost on Indonesia, which I really do think was gettable, but that's okay. It was my second choice, not my first. Okay, next one here should be US. Could see Mex, but I'm pretty sure it is just US, so we'll find out soon enough. Ooh. Sent a little bit prematurely there. That was actually Argentina. Probably the sun was easily giving it to us there, but that's okay because we were on a low streak. I never get mad about losing a low streak. It's always the high ones that hurt the most. This is interesting. I thought of Guatemala, but I actually think maybe Mexico is better here. Do we actually have the direction of the sun? I mean, we're on 0, so I'll just try it, see if Mexico's good. It was actually in Bolivia there. Wouldn't have picked Bolivia. That's interesting. Normally, Bolivia is very recognizable because it's got such little coverage, so you normally just know, but that was definitely an example of a harder one. This is probably Sweden or Finland. It was Finland, actually, or just Russia. Wow, just over the border in Russia. That was so Finnish or Swedish looking. Next one here should be... Ooh, this is actually difficult for South African standards. I think it is Eswatini, but I could see it being wrong. Okay, it was Eswatini. This map is like... I feel like it's hard if you're just like an average viewer of mine, not someone who plays GeoGuessr a lot, to appreciate how difficult some of these rounds are, because the guy who made it really just made it devoid of any great clues. Like, there's always small ones in the distance or something, or some way to get it, but there's no real, like, proper clues in a sense. So it is a really interesting map to play, and it is really interesting to watch people play, because I feel like it's a really good skill test. This one, with, like, the winter coverage and the kind of mountains, is feeling good for Korea, but I could actually see it being something else. Well, it's just Korea, though. So there we go. We're back onto, what are we on, 1 or 2 here? Yeah, we're on a 2-country streak, so that was definitely an unsuccessful seed, and it goes to show how difficult this map is. Okay, next one here. Man, this is so distinctive. It should be easy. I mean, France is my first thought with these kind of longer dashes. I could also see Portugal. I don't think it's the UK, but I also couldn't rule it out, so... I don't know. This wooden fence is also quite strange to me. I think I would go France. I'm just trying to... kind of struggling to pick it. Maybe like near Geneva or something could work, but I would normally associate that area with more trees, because there's a lot of national parks out here. So I'll try France, but not confident here. It was France, just a bit further south. I guess that kind of makes sense with the lack of trees, but yeah, okay. Next one here is actually Portugal, I think. That looks like a Brazilian-style pole, which of course they also have in Portugal, so we'll try it. Was Portugal, very nice. Okay, next one here, South Africa. Reason I know it's South Africa is because it kind of looks like Australia, but I just know it's not there, so yeah, I mean, is anything else possible? I mean, then we also have like a tall fence and a wooden pole, so that would also fit quite nicely. So I think it's like near Durban or something, or it's just near Lesotho instead. It's okay though. Next one here, we got like a typical Taiwanese poles with like the black and white stripes going down to the bottom. I'm pretty happy to just go straight for it because you barely ever see those elsewhere, so yeah, it was always going to be there. Next one here is Russia, southern Russia, because we got the kind of winter coverage with the Generation 4. Like we got a Lada here, you know, it's very typical Russia. So I'm thinking it is quite far south here. I'll just go Stavropol, why not? And it was actually there. Okay, so there we go. We're back onto a decent streak here of 7. So we'll see if we can get a new PB for the video. I haven't played this map in a long time, and it definitely helps when you're in the swing of things. This is difficult now. I think it's actually Montenegro, but I could see it being other things. I think, like, long antenna is fairly common in Montenegro. Could this ever be Russia? I don't think so. I want to say it can't be, but it low-key could be some, like, really weird Caucasus stuff around here. I hope not, because those two are, like, probably what you get mixed up with the long antenna. But I think Montenegro is definitely better here, so I'll give that a go, and we'll see if we're correct. Was Monty there right on the border with Albania, where the mountains start to get pretty huge? Okay, next one here, as it loads in, thinking US. Canada's also possible here. definitely leaning US, just trying to see if there's anything that actually helps us here. Not too much. Like, the stones on the side of the road make me feel like it's kind of East Coast vibes, right? Could see like maybe New England. Also, like, New England has that like really vibrant autumn coverage a lot of the time, so I feel like that is good. Might try like Rhode Island or something like that here. If it is Canada, maybe like New Brunswick could certainly make sense. I feel like behind my webcam we might see like a bit of a red number plate, which you do see in New Brunswick. But yeah, I mean, in lieu of any other like good clues here, I feel like I'd just go there. And yeah, it was actually just near Boston there. Makes sense, New England kind of vibes. So glad I got that. Almost, I did consider New Brunswick a real possibility there. Anyway, next one here, we have like a Chilean style pole, which you find all the way around the world, by the way. That's just what we call it because they're most common there. But this black outline on the chevron makes me think we should be somewhere in Malaysia, because that's common in Malaysia and Indonesia, and this does not look like Indonesia to me. Even though you can see such poles in Jakarta. So I would try probably Kuala Lumpur, like outskirts here in like the mountains or something. Feels good to me. And it was indeed just in the middle of the city there, right? So why was it so green? It was just like a very rich neighborhood, I think. So very interesting there. Okay, next one here, feeling like Portugal before we load in. Still, no longer like in Portugal. In fact, I was going to say Mexico next, but we actually have like this Peruvian style of like cinder blocks on the side of the road. So yeah, feeling like Peru is definitely the better choice when you see a Peru specific clue like that. North or south? Like this is interesting. Like these kind of like I forget what these trees are called, but those kind of drooping trees like that. It definitely looks like Mexico. Like without this, I'd probably have gone Mexico, but the lines on the outside are quite Peruvian, so it all makes sense. I guess I'll go north, but it could be south too, and it was south. Yeah. I was very torn between those two. Next one here is an easy Israel. We like those. I mean, like for a bait map, there's a lot of easy Israels on this map because you just see the yellow number plates and you know where to go. And there we were in Shoreham. So there we go. We're back up here. We're on 12. So yeah, not going bad at all. I'm pretty happy. STIQUE, here we come. And so, next one here, what have we got? Ooh, was I being a little bit too hubristic here? Because this is a difficult round. So, from what I can see, this motorbike is driving on the left. It seems like we might have a tuk-tuk in the background. And that is making me think that we could be somewhere in, like, Bangladesh here. But I also want to explore the possibility of, like, Senegal. Not that this looks anything like Senegal, but it almost feels like we have, like, a small rift in the sky, which is really strange. And then the road kind of looks Senegalese in a way. But I feel like I can discount it with this many, like, this thick of a forest. I want to say but I could be wrong. I think so. Senegal, I think like Bangladesh or Sri Lanka are probably working best here. I feel like this blur that we see at the bottom of the screen is also maybe feeling better for Sri Lanka. However, I don't love it. I must say. So sun appears to be maybe slightly more northern here, which would obviously not bode well for Sri Lanka. But then again, it wouldn't really bode well for any of the ideas I had so far. So it could always be like a weird Indonesia. That's always a possibility. But I just don't really know what I think about the tuk-tuk then. And then I guess like Philippines is always possible, but I would say this definitely seems like he's driving on the left. So yeah, it's a weird Sri Lanka, but I feel like the longer I look at it, the more I think it is just most likely. Anything else actually reasonable here? Like it's definitely not Thailand. Looking back at Africa, like it could be something in Africa, but yeah, I don't love that. And then South America is always possible, but again, I think he's driving left. So I think I will just try Sri Lanka here. It's a hard round, guys, but we'll see if we're right. Was Sri Lanka, guys. Was not expecting to get that right, but at the same time, I didn't know what else it could be, so it does make sense that it is correct. Okay, next one here. It feels like maybe like Greece in the mountains or something. What else is possible? I can't shake the feeling that this is just Greece. Like, a very pale road. It does kind of have the black specks on it like you'd see in Bulgaria, so I think it still could be BG as well. And Bulgarian mountain rounds often screw me up, so I think we're somewhere, like if I had to say, we're somewhere like on the north border here, or just like near Sofia in Bulgaria. That's difficult stuff. Is there anything that we can use to distinguish the two countries? I don't really think so. The fact that the road's unmarked is kind of typical of Greece, I want to say, but you could so easily see that in Bulgaria too. Then again, it doesn't really seem like it's winter, and a lot of the coverage in Generation 3 in Bulgaria is winter. So I feel like that really fits well for Greece. But yeah, this feels like a true 50-50. I would be surprised if it's in a different country. Like, I don't think this could be Korea or anything like that, even though it kind of looks similar. Um, yeah, I just think it's one of those two, and it's kind of killing me because I can really see something in Bulgaria working nicely. And now creeping into my mind is that Turkey is possible, but I think the road doesn't feel particularly Turkish. Like, it's a bit pale. Like, road color definitely does help, guys, and like pale roads are very common in the Balkan countries. So yeah, I'm still unsure what I want to do here. I low key am starting to believe more in the Bulgaria train. But then, like, there's just not as much area in Bulgaria where I feel like would actually look like this. So, yeah, I mean, these are very, like, sharp mountains as well. Um, in a way that, yeah, could easily be like some of these roads in here for sure. Could just as well be some of these roads here. Ah, man. I think we got to make a decision here on 13. I think I will go Greece. Ah, but do I like it? I don't know if I like it, man. Like these big like piles of dirt as well. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if I've seen that in Greece before. Maybe. And there's almost like a sense in which it like there's a mistiness here that feels like a bit more like I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass now. I gotta guess. I'm gonna go for Greece. And it was Greece, 3 kilometers away. Okay, baby, let's go. It had to be in some of those higher mountain areas, and that's just crazy. So, man, that was a true 50-50. I really almost switched to Bulgaria. I cannot lie with you guys, but there we go. That's good for us. Okay, next one here. So we're driving right. We can see like the brake light of the car here. It would be. Would this ever be? Bolivia. I don't think so. But it could be. I wouldn't counter that. It just feels a bit strange for Bolivia. So then Brazil is obviously quite possible here. Is anything else actually possible? Maybe Ecuador? I don't know what I think about that. So sun seems to be definitely more so to the south, I want to say. So obviously everything we discussed so far is solidly southern hemisphere, basically. So could it be Mexico? Yeah, could be Mexico. Okay, starting to think that Mexico's decent here. But purely based on what I saw with the sun, though. Like, yeah, this is difficult. But it does kind of seem like this pole is a bit like, it's a bit like narrow to be a Brazilian pole. I would say that seems right to say. The car can't be the Guatemala car, so we can count that out. It's this pole here that feels a bit like square in a way that obviously doesn't really fit for anything in Latin America apart from like Puerto Rico or like Dominican Republic, but they would have a different Google car, so we can count them out. I just like landscape. Okay, I'm pretty sure it can't be Bolivia. Like if it is Bolivia, it has to be somewhere around Santa Cruz. But I just feel like I'd recognize it more. I want to say that at least. And normally you would see more of the Google car. I feel. Then like yeah, Mexico is fitting decently as well as like a weird Brazil. I think I'll just go for Mexico here. It's something weird like along the coast, guys. It's something like on this peninsula or something, on this like isle or something. You know, it's a strange round. But I think also the sun being a little bit south here does give me some confidence. And it was just, oh man, it's right on the, look at this, it's right on the equator. So you really can't trust it when it's like that. Maybe that was a free round, but I feel like this pole in the distance was really thin. So that's what kind of like really made me think it wasn't Brazil. It is a thin pole. Yeah, it's really thin. That's really thin for Brazilian standards. If you know, you know. So I don't feel so bad about it now. But that was the short end of the pole here. So if this pole was turned to be facing the other direction like this one was, then we could get the round. But of course, this map maker is too crafty. Roland Hill, too crazy. So let's go for a quick fire attempts here now. We got 14, which is by no means a bad score, but I'm just going to go quickly now and see what kind of scores we can get if I'm just insta-sending. This one should be Senegal, I think. I saw a blue number plate. Okay, we're correct there. So let's just see if we can get to 10 really quickly and then maybe turn it into another attempt. Otherwise, I'll just end out the video. This is... oh gosh, this is a cruel round. Why do I think it's like something very baity? I think maybe just Russia is safest. I'll just go Russia if I'm going quickly. That was Netherlands. Yeah, that's impossible. Okay, that should be Greece, I want to say. Oh, we got a single white line. I think Italy then. Yeah, it was Italy on an island. That's why it felt strange. Island vibe. These are taking a while to load in, but this is Sri Lanka. Okay, that's fine. Easy. Very good. Next one here, gonna be Turkey. Now, why is it looking so strange? I couldn't really tell you. I would just go like maybe a Antalya area. Okay, well, it's nice. This is the same place where I got that 5K the other day on this island, I think. Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, there must be a bunch of locations there on AI generated world, but of course I played it on Community World and had it there as well. This one, I think. Like, we see some people of African descent here, presumably. These might be like some of the Afro-Colombian population who often live near the coast in Colombia. I think that often, like, makes sense on around like this. And I think, like, Pole does fit. Architecture is maybe a little dodgy, but yeah, I guess we could be, like, north with that architecture, sure. Could still be Ecuador, but dirt roads are quite uncommonly covered there. So, yeah, I think I would just go for it. And it was right on the border. Wow, that was a bit scary, yeah. It did kind of look like Ecuador, so that does not surprise me, really. That is... Ooh, not black back of the sun, so I don't think it's Italy. It's like... Okay, I think it's actually Croatia, just because of, like, the white sand next to the road. Something feels a bit wrong, but I said we're going to go quickly, so let's see if this is Croatia indeed. It was nice. Bit of a red road, kind of unusual for there, I feel. Next one here, short dashes. This is just Sweden. I don't think it's going to be Estonia. I hope it's not. Yeah, it wasn't. Like the farm just felt too Swedish. This is just Chile, somewhere on the coast here, I assume. And it was right there. Very nice indeed. Got the nice guess. This one is US Canada. We got Ontario guardrail here with like the single wooden posts, so we can go here quite confidently. And it was right on the border with Ottawa there. So yeah, the quick tactic is working quite nicely. If I'm playing by myself, I'm going a lot quicker and not really explaining, obviously. Oh, what's this? First thought was Taiwan. Then I thought maybe because we're like kind of feeling low camera, it could be Japan. Then I thought Sri Lanka. Then I thought even like a crazy like Funchal around here. Like this like block on the side of the road feels very Asian. Could also be like I don't know, like a Hong Kong or something. But the real question here is I think I go Taiwan if it's not Japan, but I feel like Japan, like the architecture is weird and I'm struggling to place it, but I just feel like the camera is kind of low. So I feel like Japan is the play here. And actually, if I look more closely at some of this vegetation, like, it doesn't feel, like, tropical. It's, like, kind of, like, not that dense in the background here. So, yeah, I think I go Japan here. I'm worried that this is a bad guess, but I'll try. Oh, man. Okay, so what was feeling so low cam about that? Obviously, that is going to conclude the video. Okay, it's just, like, it does feel like... Okay, it's just because we're going down a hill. Yeah, I don't really know what it is about this round that confused me. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. Obviously, we had some decent streaks here, but this kind of goes to show that it is a difficult map indeed. We got tripped up by quite some funny ones today. Anyway, guys, I thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. Give it a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time, and goodbye.